Oh well, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm using my, uh, whatever these things are called, earphones. So I don't know if it's going to work, but I'll try to. This is the view where, hey Steve, all right, I guess somebody's here. I'm in San Diego, and it's a very nice lake behind me. The highway's right over there, and my mother is sleeping, I guess, if you would call it politely, over here uh, in this house. And I just sat with her, and I'm taking a break to come out here because, I don't know, it's hard to just sit there. Um, let's just go through this quickly because I have some things to show you. Hi, Steve. Yep, you were first, and you're the largest shareholder, so you're first in a lot of ways. Hey, David, how are you? Oh, yeah, I do have a pen in case you guys bought more stock. Uh, um, hey, Pat, how are you? Eddie, fast. This isn't fast, Eddie. This is slow, Eddie. All Eddies are fast. Hey, Eddie. Hey, hey, David. Yeah, it's beautiful here. It's very expensive. The weather is unbelievable. But if this were Virginia, Northern Virginia, it wouldn't seem as nice because there's a lot of cars and a lot of try to get out of the sun and a lot of wow, sun is bright. Put a newspaper over my arm. Um, when I was young, I didn't mind the sun, but now it, my skin is so pale. Anyway, yeah, if with a, it's not. It's all sprawl. You can't walk anywhere. I walk down here. I'm staying at a motel, like really, and to get there, there's a sidewalk that goes to the end of the street, goes down a bit, then it ends, and so then you're just walking on the highway. It's it's modern life in America. Hey, Dee Dee Play, how are you? I'm all right. Thank you for asking. Hey, Steve, again. Um, Little Italy. I think I went to Little Italy the other night with account settings, and it was very nice. It was very nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to be here tonight. Account settings, so we'll see. Um, Spent a lot of time there in the National City shipyards. Wow, I almost saw those. I got close to them with account settings. Sorry for it's I'm getting gout in my other foot now, so I got to drink water, make sure I can get it off. Stop it before it gets bigger. This chart I just saw the San Diego Union. Um, and it shows the Great Recession. Unemployment in San Diego got to, I don't know, 10%, but in the country it got to 12 and over 12%. And then it's been straight down to 2020. You can see it just straight down. In other words, it better. And then the pandemic hit, and I guess unemployment went to 16%, and then came down. And now the United, United States is 4.6%. San Diego's unemployment is 5.2%, and California's is 6.1%. Then they give another interesting chart of jobs, and well, that's not good. District of DC has the lowest participation rate or highest. Let's see what it says. Labor force participation rate. Well, I guess ours is high. DC's is 72%. California's is 62%. So I guess we benefit from government spending. But anyway, industries with the fastest job growth: private educational and health services, leisure and hospitality, construction, mining, logging, and construction is third. Government looks like it's seventh. Financial activities is last. But anyway, in management, and I guess this is here in California, San Diego, management earns $81 an hour. That's the number one job. Legal, number two, $74 an hour. Healthcare practitioners and technical, $65 an hour. Computer and mathematical, $62 an hour. Architecture, business and financial, life, physical, social science, arts, sports and media. Construction and extraction, $36 an hour. Installation, maintenance, and repair, $32 an hour. Office and administrative support, $27 an hour. At the bottom is healthcare support, $20 an hour. Buford Pusser killed his wife. Did you know that? That movie was wrong. Anyway, I read you all that because I wanted to show you something, and then we'll get on to Railtown. The headline says it all. Goodbye to $165,000 a year programming jobs, computer programming jobs, tech jobs. The rhetoric was if you just learn to code, work hard, and get a computer science degree, you get six figures as your starting salary, Mashira says. A parade since the 2010s, a parade of billionaires have and tech executives and presidents have urged young people to learn how to code. Typically, their starting salary is more than 100,000 plus a 15,000 bonus and stock grants worth 50,000, said Microsoft. But now, the spread of AI programming tools, which can quickly generate thousands of lines of computer code, combined with layoffs at Amazon, Intel, Meta, and Microsoft, is dimming prospects in a field that tech leaders promoted as the golden career ticket. So then down here, they have this side jobs. And this is what I think people should remember. Jimmy Rogers, the co-founder of Quantum with George Soros. He says, his quote is, in the future, stockbrokers will drive taxi cabs. Farmers will drive Maseratis. So this says whether you're looking to build a second revenue growth stream or monetize the skill, today's most profitable side hustles is your shortcut to making a lot of money. A young guy like you is going to make a lot of money. So mobile services are a good example. Car detailing to tech setup or junk removal. The numbers are staggering in skilled trades. There are currently 500,000 unfilled jobs in skilled trades. And some project that there will be roughly 2 million more jobs than applicants in just 5 years. That's in skilled trades. That means opportunities for people who can do plumbing, electrical work, welding, and a variety of other skilled trades. The opportunities have never been better. It's not a field that women's go into. Um, Training is necessary, but a college degree isn't, and people get into so much debt. Indeed, many skilled trades can be learned through apprenticeships. Wow. If you can get paid, quote, to learn by doing, it's a very smart move, says Lisa Countryman Ortiz, CEO of Jewish Vocational Services in San Francisco. We see a lot of people coming into JVS to access a higher quality job after they've been bouncing around. In another era, someone who is funny and extroverted might be considered the life of a party. In those days, you amused your friends for free. That's me. I tell my jokes for free because no one laughs. Today, that same person would likely be a YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok star. And there's big money in that. Really? I've never made any money. Um, One trend gaining traction is content monetization. I guess I have to have content to be able to monetize it. Realtors, art dealers, etc. And then AI makes new work. Artificial intelligence systems are increasingly taking jobs from humans, whether those jobs involve writing blog posts or coding websites. But AI is creating work too. Quote, AI tools are opening doors to entirely new kinds of gigs. Ugh. My mother liked the word gig, and my sister did not. Mother would go to gigs, and my sister hated it. Says Jusuf Saitam, co-founder of Ice Cartel, a men's e-commerce jewelry store. Men's jewelry? Uh, Chatbot scripting isn't a crowded field yet, so there's room to stand out. That's interesting. AI prompt engineering jobs have become a lucrative activity in the background, especially among people who know how to engineer responses to AI tools like ChatGPT. And on a local level, mobile services like home tech startup or smart home consulting are picking up. That I would use. I'd hire somebody to set up my house. There are even gigs involving editing AI generated work. Yeah, that's a gig. Niche work is where the money is. Being an expert in one small niche is increasingly profitable. And that's one thing that Jim Rogers again says that. Just focus on what you know how to do, what you know. If you know something better than anyone else, don't listen to me or anyone. Just listen to yourself and do that. Uh, Being an expert in one small niche is increasingly profitable. This is likely because the world is getting more complicated. This makes it hard to add value as a jack of all trades. But you can become a true expert by diving into a business where you do just one thing: resumes, video edits, email marketing. The list is endless, but they only gave you three. If it's endless, why'd you only give us three? But generally, you find your niche by drawing a Venn diagram of where your passions. Who's writing this? It's got to be written by a woman. Let me see. Kathy Christoph. Passion. Ugh. Rod Stewart had a song about passion. That was about all I could take. Passion. Micro consulting is exploding. All right, well, her website, if you want to follow her, is Side Hustle. And of course, you spell hustle cleverly. It's SIDEHUSL.com. Money making opportunities in the gig economy. Good Lord. Does anyone speak English anymore? Does anyone? So we'll go from there. I'm reading this book just because I finished my other one, The Psychology of Money. And there's a couple of things here, if I can find them quickly. I'm learning that in his book, Lessons for Living, Carl Pilmer interviewed 1,000 elderly Americans looking for lessons. He wrote, no one, this is a quote, no one, not one single person, these are the elderly, No one, not one single person out of 1,000 said that to be happy, you should try to work as hard as you can to make money to buy the things you want. No one, not a single person, said it's important to be at least as wealthy as the people around you. And if you have more than they do, it's a real success. No one, not a single person, said you should choose your worst work based on your desired future earnings power. What they did value, this is no longer quoting, were things like quality friendships, being part of something bigger than themselves, and spending quality, unstructured time with their children. What was the other thing I wanted to, the other idea I wanted to give you? I know what it was if I can find it. It is because you might be presented with this with Railtown AI. You might be presented with this situ. Um, this is something. Do you know that, of course, it makes guys like me realize it's too late, but do you know that, um, all right, that's not the, so Warren Buffett is worth 84.5 billion, at least when this was written. Do you know how much of that 84.5 billion net worth came to Warren Buffett after he turned 65? 81.5 billion. The majority of Warren Buffett's wealth came after he turned 65. And it's just the compounding of wealth over time, being patient, being patient. You don't want to be hot money. That's why I get PO'd when anyway, let's not talk about me. I'm tired of talking about me. How about you? What do you think about me? All right, let's see. I can't find, I'm not going to find it. But the idea is, the idea that he had in there is one is enough. Once you reach enough, you don't need to keep, you don't need to keep playing. Once you have enough, your 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 life is, you have choices. Your life is calm. You don't need to keep playing. You don't have to be at risk anymore. He used the example of Jesse Livermore, whose book, or a book about him, I read. And Jesse Livermore was a great success at trading hot money, but he did it with a brain, a facility for arithmetic, and he learned how to trade, and he did it full time. Uh, and he did it through the bucket shops, where you could essentially play with somebody else's money if you were right. It was very highly leveraged, and he would win, and you have to move from town to town because he made so much money. Um, but anyway, during the Great Depression, uh, the crash of 1929, his wife was crying. His sister was screaming in the other room. The whole household was in a state of shock. And he came home. He didn't understand it. He's like, "What's going on here?" And then it clicked. Well, they'd been listening to the radio about how the stock market had done, and he said to his wife, "Honey, I had the best day of my career. I was short." I'm, and he made the equivalent, to my memory, I just read it. but he made the equivalent in inflation adjusted dollars of $100 million. And then he went on to be worth, no, I'm sorry. I think that, well, anyway, either that trade or the next trades. I think it was that trade. He became worth $3 billion with a B, adjusted for inflation. But then he kept playing, and that's the thing I remember from reminiscences of a stock speculator is at a hotel closet. That's how I remember it. At a party at a hotel, he went into the closet and blew his brains out because he lost everything. Why wouldn't $3 billion be enough? And that's my point. You're gonna reach a time, maybe with Railtown, and maybe very quickly, that that might just be enough. And I'll show you. I'm hoping to build something that's all about cash flow and growth and surviving what's coming. But even without me, there's ways to put this money to work to get cash flow. And it may be you wait until, my guess, my guess is that Microsoft buys Railtown in 18 months, 2 years. But somebody told me a better idea is that Constellation Software would buy Railtown. We'll find out. It could be NVIDIA, it could be AMD, it could be Tesla, it could be, who knows? But if that happens, you don't have to sell your stock. You're automatically moved into a blue chip stock, which Railtown could become. It could become a unicorn, but you would be moved into, let's say, a Microsoft without a tax consequence, obviously, until you sell Microsoft. And maybe Microsoft continues to be a stock that will uh, maintain its value over the next 2 decades. That, my friends, I cannot predict right now. I think we're going to have to play that one by ear. Let me see what else is here. Ah, there's Fast Eddie. There's account settings. Yeah, we went to Hillcrest. It was a nice Italian or restaurant, Arrivederci. Little Italy. Maybe I'll go there tonight. I don't know. I'm way out. It's expensive to hop an Uber. There's a Mexican restaurant here and a fish restaurant. There's they call it an Arabic restaurant, but it looks like just a big money laundering place. I tried to get in last night. They have the hubbly bubblies, but it was a wedding party. Um, hey, Fast Eddie. Hey, Gary. Um, Kira Nova. So now what? Kira Nova, do I smoke? I, I'll sit this way so you don't see it. No, I don't smoke. But I'll show you the, what are my choices for getting out of the sun? I can go over there in a minute. Maybe in a, maybe in a, I'm gonna wait 10 more minutes. I can go over there when those shade hits. But yeah, my sister and I went to Old Town, and we had Mexican, and it was interesting. My sister, when she was here, we did two or three things that my mother would have loved to do, and I felt like we were doing it for her. Um, One of them was we went and got Mexican food in Old Town, and then we strolled around the shops. Carol, my sister, doesn't like all that, but my mother did. Anyway, let's try to go through a couple. Let's teach you something, or at least have some comment, some topics to uh, think about. Tomorrow is either going to be 4 remaining days, um, 9 remaining trading days, or I'd say at worst, so 4 this week, 5 next week, so that's 9, and 5 the following week. That so worst case, tomorrow will be one of 14 trading days where the criminals will still try to sell off Railtown. And I want to give you some ammunition to stay the course. So let's just show you this again. Look at these multiples of valuation. The one I would focus on is sort of, I'd either pick this Harvey at 75 million or go down to Cohere at 100 million or Sierra at 100 million. And you see the valuations 5 to 6 billion, 60x. Basically, look at these $5 billion, $6 billion valuations. These are pretty exciting. If you received or saw a $5 billion valuation for Railtown, that would be like Soundhound, or as they say in Canada, Soundhound. And parts of Roanoke, Virginia, they say that as well. Hound. Soundhound. With Soundhound doesn't make money. Railtown, when they get revenue, it's probably going to be high margin. They'll be making money. So at 5 billion, if we use 150 million shares out, that's a $33 stock. Now, I have no idea how many shares will be outstanding. None of us do. But I think they're going to be parsimonious with their issuance of shares. Remember, the management is very closely aligned. Is the double chin the start of my demise? Good Lord. Anyway, there's a bird. I saw a bird. The first bird I've seen. There's a second bird. 2 birds. I worry for California about Fukushima Daiichi and its effect on birds and insects and human beings. But let's not talk about that. All right, let me see if I can add some files. All right. It's hot out here. It's hot out here. This is, I think, relatively simplistic article from um, what's that service on that everybody uses? It's orange and white, and they don't let me give them articles because I'm too negative about the shorts. Seeking Alpha. It's Seeking Alpha. All right, so let me go. I think I'm starting at the beginning here. Let me take this comment down. and go back here. All right, so you can see this is Seeking Alpha is where this comes from, and this is Constellation Software, and it's not the greatest article in the world, but it helps you get an idea of what Constellation Software is. And if you were to take the Constellation Software model to, which is a low margin mature business model, to a high margin early stage powerfully growing AI technology stocks model, it's pretty strong. So let's read it. This came out February this year. Constellation Software, the star of the Canadian software show. Constellation Software excels in growth via acquisition in the vertical market software space. That means software in one company or in one niche, demonstrating consistent shareholder value creation over decades. CSU, that's its symbol. It uses decentralized operatorship and strategic acquisitions, including underperforming businesses with an aim to generate attractive returns through niche market expertise. Financially, CSU boasts consistent EBITDA, annoying EBITDA margins, manageable leverage, and robust free cash flow growth. That's the key, cash. Cash is king, making it a solid investment. CSU's relative valuation presents a buying opportunity, believe it or not. Let me drink some water. My tongue is getting tied. It's hot now. It's getting hot. All right, so here's the introduction. The name of the game for Constellation Software is growth via acquisition in the vertical market software space, VMS. The company is diversified as its software services are across many industries. The track record of the company stretches back multiple decades with demonstrated shareholder value creation as management increased the company's share price by a lot over the last 2 decades. The company trades at a discount with a 27x multiple versus Canadian peers at 30 to 35x. This is not a pitch for you to buy it, so I'm going to skip the next sentence. Since trade flows, all right, the whole Trump thing. And the point is, right here, is a lot of the revenue comes from the United States, which I expect will be the case with Railtown /AI partners as well. 45% comes from the United States. Here's their chart. CSU's revenue, 45% US. Canadian is only 10%. 32% is Europe. And then ROW, rest of world, is as bigger than Canada. Let's skip the America First politics. One of the keys to Constellation's strategy is the company will have the management team of the acquired company continue to run the business. I expect that that's what's going to happen in the roll-ups that AI Partners does. We'll find out. This is logical as they seek to enter businesses that have a lot of the market share for the niche market they partake in. One could argue this may take away from initial upfront synergy. Hate that word too. This is no David Henry Thoreau. Um, this may take away from initial upfront synergies upon acquisition, but there is more value that the management teams bring over the long term. This is something one would want to see. It's so bland. Rate of return. Management also discusses hurdle rates as a key metric or indicator when looking at potential acquisitions. Now, the key here is to look how low these so-called hurdle rates are in this business. Imagine in Railtown's case, the margins could be over 50%, 60%. We'll find out. But the margins are going to be massive. So taking this model, which is frankly kind of low hurdle rates at 8.5%, to the high growth AI software 2.0 business, it could be really exciting. I think it will be. The potential hurdle rate that CSU contemplates for its acquisitions may fall within the range of 8.5% to 12.5%. The quote below comes from the company's annual report. We sometimes acquire vertical, now I forgot what VMS is, vertical market, what's the S? Software, businesses with declining revenue, concentrated customer bases, low relative market share, and well-funded competitors. We do so when we believe that the correct combination of customer relationship management and market segmentation will lead to attractive returns. It appears that Constellation will also acquire businesses which are not dominant in the respective markets the business operates in. I know it's inconsistent with your comment earlier in the article, but hey, who can expect you to do hard work? The other possible scenario is that if Constellation sees a business for sale at a discounted price, but it does not fit the typical business model, they will still acquire that business. Well written, pal. Well written. Can't even fix it on the fly. All right. So they make it mandatory that 25% of the incentive compensation for the majority of senior employees has to be reinvested in shares of the company. That's a very interesting thing. Maybe that'll continue over. EBITDA margins. Annual EBITDA margin we can see has been consistent since 2019 at around 20%. To have this consistency over time ensures profitability for the company. Well, I think you're going to find that, I'm just checking for the heat. I think you're going to find that these other companies are much higher revenue margins. Acquisition risk. This is the year over year cash flow growth for Constellation software. I can see why the gentleman I spoke to thinks that Constellation would be a logical buyer of Railtown. When thinking about the risk to Constellation, anytime there are multiple acquisitions required to quote unquote grow the company, there is execution risk and integration risk. But look what they've done in the past. It's been successful. They've been successful. DeepSeek, a topic which cannot be ignored. One interesting topic which has come up recently in the technology world is DeepSeek. While this can have many read-throughs to multiple different companies, it is interesting to think about the topic as an existential threat to any type of existing software and technology. If a company has software and someone can come along and develop it for less and sell it to customers cheaper, isn't this a massive risk? Luckily for CSU, the diversification across many industries serves as some sort of protection against massive disruption of the entire business. And that's something to bear in mind about AI partners. They're not going to have thousands of companies, but they could have 100 fairly quickly or 50 fairly quickly. And that kind of spread out, it's almost a portfolio approach. So here's a letter from the CEO, Mark Leonard. One of our directors has been calling me irresponsible for years. His thesis is that if Constellation can invest capital more effectively than an individual shareholder, Constellation should stop paying dividends and invest all of the cash we produce, even if we lower our hurdle rates. I used to argue that we needed to maintain our hurdle rates because dropping them would cause the returns on the entire portfolio to drop. The evidence supported my contention. But his contention, the byproduct is that using that discipline, the byproduct has been a perennial inability to invest all of the cash that we generate. Nice problem to have. So now I skipped how he described his dividends. I've stopped arguing. I have converted. The first step is to stop special dividends. So if Constellation can make investments and acquisitions at a higher rate or benefit compared to what shareholders can do themselves, then one would want Constellation to make those investments and continue to compound growth. So I think the gentleman I spoke to has a pretty good point that Constellation might be a buyer. So the conclusion is Constellation is a high quality name and one who serves as one of few large Canadian technology companies. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so what's this? Railtown, this is an old one. This came out a year ago. Railtown AI unveils version 2.0 of Conductor, spelled with an O. Conductor version 2.0 is designed to drive new insights by seamlessly aggregating and analyzing diverse application data. By providing a holistic view of application performance and development processes, Railtown AI enables organizations to understand all aspects of their software application. This enhanced perspective is crucial for the company's version of building an artificial general intelligence which manages and controls all aspects of the software application cycle. Quote, our mission with Railtown AI has always been to empower businesses with actionable intelligence, unquote, said Marwan Haddad, CTO at Railtown AI. Quote, with the release of version 2.0, we are taking a giant leap forward by giving companies the tools they need to not only monitor, but also optimize every aspect of their application ecosystem. This is more than just an update. It's a transformation in how we understand and manage software, unquote. It's hard to see. The key features a year ago of Conductor 2.0, integrated data analysis. They combine data from multiple data integrations. So in other words, there's a bunch of these other products. They can communicate with it all and absorb it all into a single unified view. Comprehensive application overview, enabling businesses to see the full picture of their application performance and development. And then 3, advanced insights, which gives you a deeper analysis and actionable recommendations. And then they talk about Railtown AI, and they emphasize it's a Microsoft partner. It's a cloud-based application general intelligence platform for software developers and teams who practice agile project management. We purposely built our application general intelligence platform to help software developers and agile practitioners to save time on redundant tasks, improve productivity, drive down costs, and accelerate developer velocity. It's proprietary. I think there's only one comment. Parking structure in Little Italy feels like you can touch the landing gear. Daniel, Railtown is dual listed, so nobody should be afraid of the shorts in this country. We should just hurry up and buy. I agree. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to move over there. See, it's hot here right now. Let's see what happens as I move over here. Look how pretty it is out back there. My mother would love it if she could get up and see it. If you give me just a second, I'm going to go use the loo because I drank too much coffee. I'll be right back. And I'll check on my mother. So I'll be right back. It feels good in here. Nice and cool. Good. Like, you know what I mean? All right. Thank you for giving me that chance to. Uh, all right. So, um, I think. Let me just check the microphone. I think it's still here. Audio. Oh, it's my iPad. Okay. No, might be better. I think that's better. All right. Now I just want to go through one more article and then we can talk. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of questions, but I want to call your attention after that silver is going to blow up, out, uh, when everyone gets back to school. It's just going to take off like a son of a gun. Um, and it's too bad. I'm going to miss it. But um, I want to talk about a strategy that probably will work with Railtown and Silver after I go through this next article. This is kind of weird. What's this 399? Are you out of your mind? Oh, I see. That's from the last time. Okay. All right. This article, I'm going to take Daniel's comment down. Um, I hope my computer's not overheating. Um, I I told you about this article before. I read it to you. You remember Emily Jarvie. Railtown AI Technologies is helping software developers tackle $1 trillion problem. So I don't, I'm not going to go through the article again. I just want to remind you, demand for software continues to rise as companies across all industrial sectors look to make their operations more efficient. Software developers themselves rely on other technologies to help them be more effective in the development, building, and maintenance of software applications. That's all I wanted to. It's a longer article. We went over it before, and I don't want to get in it again. This is an article from last year, a year ago, and it's about Railtown. From legacy challenges to AI-driven solutions, Corey Brandolini's journey in the tech industry spans over 2 decades, during which he has witnessed the profound impact of software inefficiencies on businesses. Recognizing a persistent pattern of companies struggling with outdated systems and escalating security risks, Corey was inspired to create solutions that would not only address these issues, but also propel organizations into a new era of efficiency and security. This guy's a little bit, uh, this author is a little bit promotional, but it gets some of the points across. In today's evolving technological landscape, companies are often caught between the need to innovate and the constraints of their legacy systems. The repercussions of neglecting modernization are evident in high-profile data breaches, infrastructure leaks, and crippling technical debt. At the forefront of addressing these challenges is Corey Brandolini, co-founder and CEO of Railtown AI, whose visionary leadership is transforming the way businesses approach software development and system security. His vision is rooted in experience. Corey Brandolini's journey is over 2 decades, and he has witnessed the profound impact of software inefficiency on businesses. Recognizing a persistent pattern of companies struggling with outdated systems and escalating security risks, Corey was inspired to create solutions that would not only address these issues, but also propel. It's all about propelling. The birth of Railtown AI in response to these industry-wide challenges, Corey co-founded Railtown AI, dedicating itself to revolutionizing software development through artificial intelligence. Railtown AI's mission is clear: empower development teams with tools which manage errors, prevent data leaks, and reduce technical debt. By integrating AI into the software development lifecycle, Railtown AI offers a proactive and intelligent approach to error management and system organization. Data breaches involving personally identifiable information have far-reaching consequences. For example, the Yahoo data leak. Railtown tackles this issue head-on with its advanced data masking technology by implementing data masking early in the development process and throughout continuous integration, continuous deployment pipelines. Railtown AI ensures that sensitive information is protected from unauthorized access. This proactive approach significantly reduces the risk of these kind of leaks, safeguarding both the company's reputation and its privacy. And then here's that number again: combating technical debt. Technical debt is a 1.5 trillion with a T problem. 1.5 trillion. Technical debt, the accumulation of outdated and inefficient code, poses a threat to business. According to the Wall Street Journal, legacy software problems amount to a staggering 1.5 trillion, increasing the risk of hacks and operational inefficiencies. Railtown AI offers solutions to reduce technical debt by automating code reviews, enhancing code quality, and promoting best practices in software development. By addressing technical debt, companies can improve system performance, reduce maintenance costs, and mitigate security vulnerabilities. Infrastructure leaks can expose critical system information. Railtown's error management system identifies and addresses potential infrastructure leaks before they become exploitable vulnerabilities. As detailed on their blog on securing systems from infrastructure leaks, Railtown does something there with tools that monitor and secure the underlying infrastructure, ensuring confidential information remains confidential. Well, they talk quickly about CrowdStrike, and this CrowdStrike highlighted how poor software practices can lead to problems. CrowdStrike, ironically a leader in cybersecurity, faced scrutiny when flaws in their software exposed clients to potential threats. Railtown analyzed what went wrong and developed strategies to help other companies avoid similar pitfalls. By focusing on code quality, best practices, and monitoring, Railtown ensures that software vulnerabilities are identified and corrected quickly. The global Microsoft Azure outage demonstrated how ignored bugs can lead to widespread disruptions. An overlooked error brought down the entire, critical cloud services, I don't know about all of them, which affected businesses worldwide. Railtown emphasizes its proactive error management. They integrate their AI-driven tools into the development process so that companies can detect and address bugs early. This prevents costly outages and helps maintain uninterrupted service for their clients. What sets Railtown AI apart is its commitment to correcting things before they happen, rather than reacting to post-issue occurrences, or rather than reacting to issues post-occurrence. Railtown AI's tools are designed to identify and mitigate risks before they have an impact on the business. This forward-thinking approach is probably because of Marwan, Corey, and the whole team. And then under Corey's guidance, AI, it's become a trusted partner to modernize software and infrastructure. Solutions are tailored to specific needs, and they deliver tangible results. And it's all about relationships. All right, let me just see if there was something else I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, I guess there is. I guess there is. I guess there is. It's really bright out here. It's gorgeous. I know why Mother loved San Diego. It's a good city for her, for this to happen. For her, it's a good place. All right, let me see what this said. Yeah, it's a boring conclusion. The success story of Railtown, and I'm sure Corey wouldn't want it all about himself. It's his whole team. Yeah, it's all, it's just all to get, that author wants to get his check paid. All right, let's see what, this is another article, which is 2 years old, but this was written by Andrew Kessel. Railtown AI Technologies offers software engineers a co-pilot to help navigate the process of development. Artificial intelligence is everywhere right now, and in the tech sector, thousands of entrepreneurs are looking for a way to plug AI into their business models. This is 2 years ago. I show you this just so that you realize this isn't, just something put together to jump on the AI bandwagon. This has been a well thought out and hard fought process for several years. Um, for AI to be truly useful, it needs to be trained effectively and have a defined purpose. Railtown AI Technologies has not one product, but three designed for software developers that meet this criteria. And I think this is before they came up with the names that they currently have. The company's proprietary AI has been in stealth development for 3 years. So this is 2 years ago, and it's been in development for 3 years. So it's 5 years of work that you're able to buy at essentially the same price as people paid 5 years ago, especially if you allow for opportunity cost and cost of capital. It's been developed under the direction of Chief Executive Officer Corey Brandolini and Chief Technology Officer Marwan Haddad, a pair of self-described software geeks who became fast friends at a previous company and partnered up. Their raison d'etre is to make it easier for developers to create new software and manage ongoing projects. The first offering is Railtown's Root Cause Analyzer Copilot. And I realize I misread it, but that's all right. Which is designed to detect bugs within applications and then quickly pinpoint the root cause of the errors and the negative effect it has on the application. Right now, 40% of a software engineer's time is spent identifying bugs and fixing them. This creates an enormous manpower challenge, according to Haddad. He and Brandolini once installed a fire engine light in the bullpen at their previous company, which would go off whenever an issue arose. Senior engineers would drop everything to figure out what was wrong, at times taking hours to diagnose the root cause of the error and the impact it had on the application, resulting in delayed deliverabilities and pushing schedules behind. The root cause analysis eliminates the mad dash to comb through every line of code. The root cause analysis code pilot hooks into the developer's machine where it spots errors before they reach production, and it immediately determines the root cause and the ticket where the problem originated. That's why Brandolini says the company doesn't design bots, it builds co-pilots. Quote, no matter how strong your team is technically, no matter how senior your developers are, when you are building complex applications, they are still fraught with functionality, logic, and syntax issues, unquote, he explains. Quote, we've got it to the point today where AI can do a ton of the heavy lifting for you, unquote. The company is based in British Columbia, and it's also built an application to streamline the process of documenting product updates and enhancements, which in the industry are known as release notes. Writing release notes takes an enormous amount of time for a team lead to produce, as they have to sift through dozens, if not hundreds, of completed work items to summarize and then write down digestible release notes which can be consumed company-wide. This is where Railtown's Release Notes Copilot comes in, as it is continually analyzing all new software deployments as well as any changes made to software, which will trigger the Copilot to automatically generate comprehensive and accurate release notes. The net result is the saving of hours of developer downtime. The root cause analyst copilot and the release notes copilot are now available. Look at this number. This is 2 years ago. To over 400,000 Microsoft partners. 400,000 on the Microsoft Azure Marketplace and at Railtown's website. And then here's their third product. Again, I think they changed all the names, and I'm not clear which one is which. There's Conductor, there's Railtrax, there's Langtrax, and there's Shredder. Then there's Scrum Master, currently in its alpha stage of development, which could be Railtown's crown jewel. I believe this is Conductor. This is article's 2 years old. Scrum Master is a co-pilot in the truest sense of the word. Utilizing Railtown's AI engine, the Scrum Master co-pilot can provide reason-based answers related to a wide range of topics, including work items, deployment issues, build errors, bug fixes, performance issues, and much more. Developers can ask the co-pilot specific questions or describe the problem that they are facing. And then the co-pilot will provide relevant and actionable information to solve the problem. Brandolini calls Scrum Master a targeted language model, in contrast to large language models such as OpenAI's ChatGPT or Google's Bard AI. Integrating Railtown's proprietary AI into a development team's builds, code changes, and work items creates a more precise learning environment than any large learning mode ever could dream of. Quote, ChatGPT and Bard are trained off of what's readily available and free. So any painting by Picasso, excuse me, or any book written by T.S. Eliot they can train their machine on. But they don't have access to what goes on inside a company's own specific applications, unquote, Brandolini says. Further quoting Brandolini, because our AI is integrated with a company's projects, our machine is now training on that data. Where OpenAI is trained on the internet, our co-pilot understands exactly what you and your team are building and can answer questions in real time, unquote. Scrum Master also keeps a developer's data from being exposed to the broader internet, which means companies get the benefit of AI without showing theirs to the whole world. Scrum Master could even be used to onboard new engineers by delivering to them detailed information on application features and answering any questions that they might have. This is not something that exists in the market today. Quote, this is from Brandolini and Haddad, quote, we were on a family holiday together in Whistler, Lucky Ducks, and sat down over a glass of wine. Marwan says, I've got this idea. Brandolini explains, I was like, I'm 100%, which means it was Marwan's leadership, not Brandolini's, but whatever. Life works that way by chance. But when both people have the common drive and goals, then it's instant connection. I guess this is like Lennon and McCartney. Brandolini and Haddad and Brandolini. The plan is to release Scrum Master in the next quarter. Version 1 was like a child in elementary school. Now version 6 is like a university professor. It went from learning how to understand what a bug is to where it's now using knowledge and reason to generate answers. Ask any developer if they would like this running for their team, and the answer will be 100% yes. To make that a reality, Railtown plans to ramp up spending on market awareness and user acquisition starting in June. This article's 2 years old. They've already been doing that. And I would argue they have revenue built up that they just can't talk about until the acquisition is completed. So you're still buying at a pre-money value in my terminology, or pre-IPO, if I can use that analogy. The company expects a significant increase in paying customers and revenue growth over the next 2 or 3 quarters. And I would argue that's been happening. We just haven't seen it yet because we're not allowed to see it. And then finally, I want to end on this quote: "This is not a bubble. This is just the beginning of the AI generation," concludes Brandolini. Art, Further quoting, "Artificial intelligence is having and is going to continue to have a profound and positive impact across all of our lives and across every business. The question investors should be asking themselves or asking their financial advisor is, quote, on what is my AI investment strategy, unquote, and further, unquote." All right. I did it. I gave you all the information I wanted to give you on Railtown. Um, let's see if I can pull this a little closer. Hi, Donna. Good afternoon. It's good morning here. It's 11:11. That's auspicious, isn't it? Account settings says good afternoon, Donna. And Donna says hello to account settings. Account settings took me to a great Italian dinner and a walk along the, whatever it is, the yachts, and you can see Coronado Island. It was very nice. Anyway, so it's 11 o'clock. I'll try to 11:11. I'll try to finish before 11:30. Um, I think what's going to happen tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, people are going to be coming back to their desks in New York, in London, in maybe Tokyo. They probably never left their desks in China. Uh, in the Middle East, they'll be coming next week. Um, but sort of in a rolling fashion over the next few days, bankers, analysts, salesmen and women, and wealth advisors are going to be coming back to their desks. And I think what they're going to notice is that the market is up. And remember, these money managers and these hedge fund guys and girls, they have to keep up with the Joneses. They want to stay in that top quintile. Better yet, they want to stay in the top 10%. Uh, and maybe it's okay to stay in the top quarter, but they want to be up there. And so that means they are constantly in an idiotic race, quarter by quarter, to essentially be in the same investments that their competition is in. If they take a risk to go into something that nobody else is in, they may be right in the long run, but they'll be so wrong in the short run in terms of retaining clients and earning their bonus. All you have to remember is the scene in The Big Short, where that guy's playing the drums and the music on loud, clients calling and getting angry. That's what happens. They don't want that. So I think you're going to see a lot of money start being deployed in the stock market. I think my target on the I got to look it up. On the S&P is 8,500. It could go to 9,000. And to address something that someone asked the other day, the correction might get delayed. This is going to be a big move upward as they all chase each other to perform. Well, what's scary for me, because I don't own the silver I wanted to own, I think this could also happen in precious metals. You could see gold and silver and platinum group, as they call it, all start to rally. You can see the miners all start to rally. There's going to be a push to be in the top performance, 5%, 10%, 20%, so they can get big bonuses calculated by the end of November and get paid in January. So I think a lot of money's going back into the market, going into uh, uh, silver, gold, miners. I don't know about oil and gas, which is an opportunity, by the way. It's an opportunity. But I think money's going to come pouring into the small caps. There's going to be a penalty or a perceived penalty to remain in cash. That's my opinion. I also think, I continue to believe that Wall Street has been educating their brokers, their salespeople on AI 2.0, AI as it relates to robotics and taxi cabs, manufacturing and healthcare, all sorts of industries. And I think there's going to be a major push to deploy capital in the AI space starting next week. It probably won't accelerate. It might be the following week. So how does that affect AI, Railtown AI and AI partnerships? Well, they got to get the deal done. They got to finish finally the merger or the acquisition. I I think for a lot of reasons. Let me just list some. I don't mean it to be all inclusive, but one is they want to get out in front of that wall of capital coming for AI. They want to be ready to go. And don't you think that the business people, the business decision making at Railtown and at AI Partnerships Corp isn't pressuring the attorneys to get off their spotted behinds and finish the work? So I think that's one pressure. The second pressure is regulatory. How long has this been going on? How long has this been going on? Was that Daryl Hall and John Oates? I think it was. Anyway, how long can they not? How long can they not finish this deal? It's been 7 months. Next week, it'll not this week, the following week, it'll be 7 months. Come on, you can't go that long. So I think there'll be regulatory pressure to wrap it up. And then finally, um, just from a business sense, just ignore trying to get in front, be ready to go when monies come into the market. Just from running a business, I would imagine that they would like to flesh out the 4 or 5 deals they've already announced and let us know about it. I would imagine they want to let their investors know that the revenues are such and such and they're growing at X rate. They want to get out and tell their story. So I think those are three uh, pressure points to get this done next week, following week, maybe the third week. But I don't think you're going to see this go longer than September. Somebody asked me, could it go into October? Of course it could, but I don't think so. And you remember, I said that in June. I said it in May. Sorry, I thought it in May, but I said it to you in June. Said it in July, August. So I can be wrong, but I think we've come to, I don't see how they can delay announcing the conclusion of this acquisition any longer. So I think it'll be this coming week. Um, if I were running everything, I would probably wait till the following week because not everybody's going to be back from their vacations. So the biggest impact of good news, I assume it'll be good news, is not the first week of September, it's the second week of September. And hopefully they don't have to go to the third week. So what's your job? You've got to avoid being pressured out by the um, fear, uncertainty, and doubt crowd, and that they're going to try to sell it down. I don't think it'll work. You also have to avoid the fear of missing out crowd, the FOMO crowd, and not don't chase the next hot story. So a couple of guys and some insiders can make their own life safe. Focus on your life and your family. Um, and maybe add to your positions if you want to, but and maybe establish positions. You might get a chance next week. We'll find out. I think the price is going to be higher though. Starting, and maybe they'll try to hit it tomorrow downward, but I have a feeling. Um, I have a feeling the stock will drift higher by the end of the week, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the stock at 70 or 75 cents by Friday. US. US. There's a band called Ace that sang that. How long has this been going on? I think it was Daryl Hall and oh, you're right. It says Ace. Ace. And Ella Fitzgerald and Carly Simon. All right, let me reduce my question to Hall and Oates. I could be wrong. Oh, it's players. How long has this been going on? It wasn't. Your friends with their fancy persuasion. That's the one. That's the one. So it was called Ace. All right. I guess I never liked it well enough to know who did it. How long has this been going on? Well, your fans with their fancy persuasion. You're right. Won't admit that it's part of a scheme, but I can't help but have my suspicions, 'cause I ain't quite as dumb as I seem. And you said you were never intending to break up the scene in this way, but there ain't any use in pretending it could happen to us any day. That you're right, it's Ace. It's ace. Good for you. What song am I thinking? Hall and Oates. Oh God, they did Your Kiss Is On My Lips, and they did Sarah Smile. I like that one for my own reasons. Um, but it's She's Gone is what I thought it was. That's the one I thought it was, and I was wrong. She's gone out of my life. I was wrong. I'm to blame. I was so untrue. I can't live without her love. That's not it. It's not the one I want. There it is. Everybody's high on consolation. Everybody's trying to tell me what's right for me. My daddy tried to bore me with a sermon, but it's plain to see they can't comfort me. That's the song I thought it was. All right, let me see. Yeah, oops. You're you're making fun of me. All right, I don't know what else to talk about if anyone has a question. Um, uh, I'll probably leave it there. It's 11:26. I can talk for another few minutes. I'll go in and check on my mother. Um, yeah, um, you were right, Tim Casey. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. I just think you got to get ready that they're going to try to scare you tomorrow. Don't, it's a chance to buy. Just, it feels like forever, but it's only another week, at, probably, or it's 2 weeks. I don't see how it's 3 weeks, but it could be 3 weeks. But that's all we got to get through. And then you're going to see, I believe you're going to see your account take a leap upward in valuation, not slowly. I think it'll happen quickly, not because of a short squeeze either. I, I don't know. It's hard to predict. But once they announce that the acquisition is made, uh, a lot of people that have been precluded. I mean, there may be, I don't know that there's a wait period after uh, news comes out. I don't think there is in the United States, but I don't think it was a hard, fast rule for us, but it was frowned upon if you traded on news right away in a stock that your clients had. So I always avoided it. I don't know if other people do, but my point is it might be a day or two later that it starts. Who knows? But if it starts right away, I think the stock goes to a buck 25, maybe a buck 50, and I'm not sure it sits around there at all because the only sellers would be you, and I hope you don't sell there. Uh, there could be some fake shares available if the criminals still have access to their lines of credit, so to speak, at the prime broker's stock loan desk. But if that dries up, you could see the stock go to 250 pretty quickly. They might do an offering, I would guess, because Canaccord has been working with them now for 6 or 7 months, and that requires a reward. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a small offering. It won't be dilutive, it won't be destructive, I don't think. These guys are pretty smart. Uh, Once the stock hits $5 or $6, I think you're going to see a lot of buying. I know it's counterintuitive, but if it hits 5 or 6, it could go to 10 or 12 in a heartbeat. And we'll just have to play it by ear. And that has nothing to do with short squeeze. And I wouldn't automatically sell the stock, but we'll talk about it as we learn information. Um, uh, One other thing. Oh, revenue. If this announcement, this merger gets consummated, what we should be looking for is revenue and try some discussion on revenue. Maybe what is it now? What are the projections? Those kind of things. We may not have access to the information that some of the big investors do. I don't know. We certainly won't have the market analysis, the teams that can go in and screen other companies and follow the industry as closely. But we should get a pretty good idea. And you know, if it, I don't even know what to guess would be the starting revenue. They Let me see. It says anyway. I'll end here. If Railtown could end the year projecting, I don't know, 75 million, maybe more in revenue, you've got a stock that could be $20, $25, depending on the multiple. So we'll have to follow it. So I wouldn't be in a hurry to get out when the guys come and say, "Hey, that's a win for retail. Why don't you come over into that is not my vault?" Anyway, all right, I'm going to sign out. It's 11:31. Thanks for tuning in. I wish peace to everybody. It's a gorgeous day here in San Diego. Absolutely gorgeous. So, peace.